Welcome. I've invited you this morning to join me with my cup of tea and my morning reflection on systems. So before we start, I just want to let you know that when I talk systems, I'm talking habits, routines, structure, lack of structure, all those kinds of things. So what I need you to understand and accept, if you can actually get anything out of this video, is that everything we do or not everything we do, a lot of what we do consistently and every day and every week and every month falls into habit and structure and system and routine. They aren't always good. They aren't always what we need. So first off, I'm going to share with you a story about my 10-year-old son, who I will be having this same conversation with this afternoon, who at the moment has this really good system of getting himself ready and shoes and hat and jumper, school bag, walking down. Fortunately, our bus stop is actually just at the bottom of our driveway. And then 3 minutes later, walking back in the door, getting his bus pass and running out because he has forgotten his bus pass. So currently his routine, and I'm talking like for the last 3 weeks, that's what I've watched and witnessed. His routine is there, and it's a great, well, it's a system. It's a crappy one. And so this afternoon I'll be talking to him about how we can actually adapt what he is doing and how we can make that a better system for him. So what I wanted to point out with that though is that even if it's not good and even if it's not the way that we want, there are systems that we have in our lives and habits that we formulate and have in place that we can adapt and modify. So now to introduce myself, my name is Amy. I am the owner and manager and everything currently with Wisteria Enterprises. It is growing and I am starting to be able to look at having a staff, which is exciting. I have 4 children who are 10, 9, 6 and 5. I've said that like 10 times this morning as I've been working through different videos and I still have to think about it. And I have a no yell in the morning routine happening, getting those 3 kids off to school. That's not the way it's always been. I am by nature a yeller and I yell quite a lot. Anyone who knows me knows that quite well. My default is to yell. But I decided probably about 2 years ago that that wasn't working for me, and it really wasn't working for my little girl when she went off to school. She doesn't do well with being yelled at, which I suppose is fair enough for all of us, but she really struggles with it. And so I decided that we had to change. And I say we, but really what changed was me and my expectations on my kids. And so we implemented some systems and they're now really well structured and the kids just follow them. So for the last week I've been sick, yet my older 2 boys have got up, today's Thursday, and they've got up every morning this week and got themselves ready, got themselves lunches, got themselves out the door, which is awesome. The reason that they can do that, with the exception of the bus pass, is that I've helped them develop really good systems. So and they've been developed individually for them. So my oldest child gets up a bit like me and he can get up and function and is straight into his routine. And so he gets up, he gets dressed, eats breakfast, and then goes and does something that he wants to do. Works really well for him. My 9-year-old is not quite as much of a morning person, and so he gets up, comes, has a snuggle, complains to me that he doesn't feel well, has that moment of but mummy, I don't want to go to school, has his complaint, gets a snuggle, gets told, look, go and follow the routine. If at the end of that you're still feeling sick, we'll discuss whether or not you get the day off school. And my little girl is kind of the same as that. She gets up, she comes, she has a snuggle. She prefers to eat breakfast and then get dressed. That works for me. And then we go through and she gets herself out the door. My point in that is that they now just get up and do that because they have such a concreted structure. And the way I've formulated that with them is to set a really strong expectation. This is what's going to happen. If it doesn't happen, then there's consequences. None of my kids like being yelled at because no one likes being yelled at. And so they get up, they do what they have to do. They tend to complain within the limits of what I'll let them complain, and then they just go and do it. Every now and then, so probably once a month or so, we do have a morning where I get frustrated and they don't quite follow the system. Generally something else in our systems has fallen apart to have that happen. But we had a system that was working. It was effective. They got out the door, they got on the bus, they went to school. I screamed at them, they yelled, they cried, I yelled. But at the end of it, they were dressed and they were ready. So what we did was we adapted it so that we could take out the bits that we didn't like and really enhance and make the most of the bits that we did like. So they all like having technology in the morning, and so they all strive to be ready so that they've got the time to do that. Now, in everything you do, I encourage you to look at the system that you've got in play, the routine, the habit, the whatever it is. So, and once you get one system down pat, you can then start to look at other systems. So pick the one that's annoying you the most. The screaming in the morning really impacted my entire day, and by 9 o'clock I was completely washed out, whereas now it's probably like 2 p.m. before I need a nap. And that's generally because I've been up since 2 a.m. But at the moment, the system within my family life that I really need to look at is our evening routine. It's not working for me, it's not working for my kids, and it's not really working for my husband either. So we've got this awesome morning routine and we just follow it, and even when I'm unwell and sick, that just falls into place now. So now I can start to look at, okay, well, what are we doing wrong in the evening? What's going on? Why is it not working for us? Why do I want to change it? What can I subtract and what can I substitute that with? So that will be what I'm exploring, but this also applies to business. There's a reason that big corporations have policies and procedures manuals, and I encourage you in your household management and also in your lifestyle management and your business management, be it big business or small business, that you think through the systems that you can follow. So looking at direct sales, because that's something that I'm quite familiar with, having systems in place, and I mean like really structured, written out systems for things that you do routinely. So things like hostess coaching, customer care follow-up, placing orders, team training stuff, what you do with a new recruit, what you do with a new consultant when they join your team. All of those kinds of things should have a really structured system that works for you and is flexible enough to work with others when you're working with others. But what you need to do is look at what you're currently doing, look at what you don't like about it, subtract those things and add in the things that you want to. Now, I have a great business coach that I can recommend who has awesome systems for direct sales, but it's easy enough to develop your own. And what I'm finding as I develop my own business is that I'm developing those systems and then modifying and tweaking them. So I hope you guys can see where the systems are in your life. I hope that you can see that you need to follow the process of assess the system, look at what you want to subtract, rewrite the system, and then just make it a habit. Set that expectation on yourself. My kids were given an expectation and they live up to it. When I set the expectation on myself to follow the systems, I live up to it. So I really encourage you to do that. I encourage you to get together with people that are doing the same kind of thing as you are and talk with them about their systems and what they're doing, because believe it or not, they're doing them whether they realize or not. So I hope that helps you, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye!